The Navajo term "nahara" or rituals labels a large and significant category of Navajo behavior. Navajos possess and perform over 60 major rites and numerous minor ones. They perform rituals for blessings, for cursing, and for purification. They bless their land, their livestock, their crops, their homes, their property, their relatives, and themselves. They cure both mental and physical disorders, as well as disorders in the environment. They purify things, place, and themselves after inappropriate contact with potential dangerous things. Navajos perform these rites not at any set of specific times, but when conditions or circumstances require them. Navajo refer to themselves as the Dene, which means the people. They speak about their arrival on the earth as a part of their story on the creation. The Navajo are believed to have arrived in the southwest between 800 and 1,000 years ago, crossing the Burning Strait Bridge and traveling south. The Dene are the largest federally recognized Native American group in the United States, and their reservation is found in the Four Corner area. When the United States gained control of the Southwest and California in 1846, the Navajos encountered a more substantial enemy. Colonel Kit Carson established a torch earth policy, burning Navajo fields and homes, and killing or stealing their livestock. He rounded up men, women, and children and forced them as his prisoners. He made them march to Fort Summer, New Mexico, which Navajos call the Long Walk. It wasn't until 1868, after signing a treaty with the United States, that the remaining Navajos were allowed to return to the designated area in the Four Corners.
For the Dene, being in harmony with nature and the inner self is the main driving force behind well-being. Being off balance with nature or the violation of taboos is believed to be the cause for mental or physical illness. The Navajo understand their place in the world in relation to other living things. Therefore, the role of spirituality and being in touch with the inner self, the relationship with the land, and the importance of the four elements are recurring themes found at the heart of the Navajo belief system. Navajo beliefs can be analyzed through their use of symbols in respect to birth, death, and healing. Birth and death are recognized as structural opposites. One cannot exist without the other. Healing rituals are used to heal illnesses, straighten weaknesses, and give the vitality to the patient. They restore beauty, harmony, balance, and health. The meaning of life for the Navajo is derived from being in harmony with nature, while the individual source of strength comes from the inner self and also depends on being in harmony with one's surroundings. As we can see, the important relationship between nature and a person allows for true virtue. Thus, at the core of Navajo beliefs highlights the importance of one's transitivity with nature, and depending on how strong that relationship is, that reflects on an individual's health.
As described on page 45 in Red Medicine, birthing ritual and symbols were so foundational to an indigenous understanding of their world, they were recorded in pre-Columbian codices and visual texts. Symbols of placenta, umbilical cords, birthing squats, and birthing trees. They depicted birthing spirits and guardians, such as Talizotel, the guardian of birthing women, midwives, healers, and weavers. According to Navajo tradition, a baby is considered to be of two worlds at birth, that of the holy people and that of the earth people. As weeks pass, adults wait and listen for their child's first chuckle, a sign of joy that signals his desire to join his earth family and community. In Navajo culture, it is believed that a child assumes the qualities of the person who first witnesses his first chuckle. In the Liu, a traditional baby shower, a mother blessing is different than the typical baby shower. It is supposed to honor the mother-to-be by acknowledging the profound rite of passage labor and mother bringings. It also provides a safe space for the mother to express her deepest fears about labor and to receive words of encouragement and support. In short, the mother blessing is all about the mother. It is about empowering the mother to be. And of course, gifts are still a part of the event. This is an event that is structured to allow guests to give support, wisdom, and love to the woman who is about to give birth. Whereas, from what I've seen, a baby shower tends to be more centered on entertaining the guests with games. The tradition comes from the Denai ceremony that is performed for pregnant women and men leaving for war. It is a ceremony that expresses hope for good luck and blessing for the person or people whom it honors. While a more traditional ceremony can have meaning for many, the ceremony can also be organized and adjusted to be exactly what the woman giving birth wants or needs. The Navajo view of pregnancy is as a state of wellness, and everything that the expectant mother does is for the well-being of the fetus and the mother herself. She is to exercise and do chores, but nothing heavy. She is not to be around anyone or anything that is dead, or even going to a funeral. A ceremony called the Blessing Way is done by a holy man. This puts the mother and baby in tune with the holy people and causes balance. All mothers are expected to breastfeed their children so that the child will not take on the nature of the animal. The umbilical cord and placenta are buried near home so the child will always return home. The placenta also is buried next to objects of the profession the parents hoped that the child would become. Sometimes it was given to the grandmother to discard, or it could be buried in a fire by the hogan to ward off evil spirits. The child is introduced into the community with a baby shower and a blessing way ceremony. In Navajo mythology, Coyote, the philosopher, argued that death had to be a part of the scheme of this world. He argued that if death did not occur, the earth would be soon overcrowded and there would be no room for cornfields. Life is considered to be a cycle which reaches its natural conclusion in death of old age and is renewed in each birth. Death before old age is considered to be unnatural and tragic, preventing the natural completion of the life cycle, whereas illness usually comes from the various forms of disorders and disharmony. Premature death usually results from malevolent intentions and deeds. Ceremonies, however, have been provided by the holy people to combat the suffering and misfortune caused by both disharmony and evil.
The Navajo believe that life begins when the wind enters the body through the ears, and death to occur when the wind leaves the body through the fingers. Their death rituals include elaborate precautions to protect the living from the ghosts of the dead. The Navajo choose 4 mourners that prepare themselves by removing their clothing, covering themselves with yucca leaves, and using sign language to communicate. They avoid eating certain foods and whistling after dark to avoid attracting ghosts. To prepare the body, the mourners bathe the body and dress the deceased in fine clothing, placing 1 ring on each index finger and placing the shoes on the wrong foot, in order to recognize a ghost or skinwalker that comes back to life. They carry the body out of the hogan through the north side, to then take the body to the burial site. They bury the body with valuable items such as jewelry, blankets, and pottery. They may also kill the horse that helped transport the body and break the tools used for burial, leaving them on the gravesite. On their way back from the gravesite, the mourners take a different route back to prevent the ghosts of the deceased from following them. During the 4-day mourning period, common behaviors may include the destruction of the hogan, breaking dishes, and the killing of horses or sheep. Mourners might choose to purify themselves with the use of sage smoke or to remain separated from others during this 4-day period.
The origin of spiritual healing ceremonies dates back to Navajo mythology. It is said the first enemy way ceremony was performed for changing a woman's twin sons, after slaying the giants and restoring to the world and the people. The patient identifies with Monster Slayer through the chants, prayers, sand paintings, herbal medicine, and dance. An example of a Navajo healing is the night chant ceremony, which is administered as a cure for most types of head ailments, including mental disturbances. The ceremony, conducted over several days, involves purification, evocation of the gods, identification between the patient and the gods, and the transformation of the patient. Each day entails the performance of certain rites and the creation of detailed sand paintings. On the ninth evening, a final all-night ceremony occurs in which the dark male thunder god is evoked in a song. The medicine man proceeds by asking the holy people to present, then identifying the patient with the power of the god and describing the patient's transformation to renewed health. The same dance is repeated throughout the night about 48 times. Altogether, the night chant ceremony takes about 10 hours to perform and ends at dawn.
The healing process can be broken down into 3 parts. First, the diagnosis of illness through the use of various practices such as stargazing, hand trembling, crystal, and charcoal gazing, to determine what may be inflicting physical or emotional pain on an individual. The second includes the use of supernatural powers of good and evil to maintain and restore balance in times of stress within the community, where the use of witchcraft can be used to inflict pain on enemies. A third group includes healers who specialize in the use and administration of medicines such as herbs, massages, and other remedies after a diagnosis has been made. Medicine may be administered through cleansing and healing rituals or presented as an object that a person can carry around to protect themselves from evil curses and disease. The use of other things such as songs and chants performed during ceremonies are also part of traditional Navajo healing ceremonies. Sand and cornmeal paintings are used during the healing ceremonies and destroyed after the ceremony has been completed. The sand painting rite begins after the purification is made to embody the powers to be invoked. The painting is made under the medicine man's direction and is produced by each painter holding a particular colored sand in his hand and pouring it into a delicate stream between thumb and first finger.
When complete, the painting is blessed with pollen and prayer, and the patient sits on it and is treated by the assistant, who first presses the figures on the painting himself, then presses them to the body of the patient. The patient also drinks a decoration of painting and afterwards inhales incense. In a complete ceremony, there are usually 4 days of sand painting rites. Each day after the treatment of the patient, the painting is destroyed. Sometimes the body of the patient is painted with the great symbols, which ends the rite of healing.